Starting your own practice is hard for many chiropractors. It's riddled with both struggles and successes. But here at the Chiropractic Philanthropist, we make it easy by having chiropreneurs and entrepreneurs share their struggles and lessons learned in life and business so that you don't have to make the same mistakes. And now here's your host, Dr. Ed Osborne.
Chirothin is more than just weight loss. It fits perfectly into the chiropractic paradigm of health. If you are wanting your patients to experience maximum benefits of chiropractic, longer stabilization, and a reduction in their physical, chemical, and emotional stress, weight loss and Chirothin is what you are looking for. As an added benefit, it can add hundreds of thousands of dollars and a ton of chiropractic patients to your office. To get more information or to test Chirothin in your office today, go to chirothin.com and click on the pricing tab. All right, TSP listeners, I have an incredible guest today, and that is Nicole Crowley. Nicole, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing, Dr. Ed?
I'm amazing. I actually really look forward to these discussions. It's a break in my day.
Right.
I get to learn something too. So here's what I love to start these podcasts with, and that's really just finding out a little bit more about you. So tell myself, but also the listeners, a little bit more about who you are and then also what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Nicole Crowley, and my aunt actually is a chiropractor. We'll make this kind of quick, sweet, and short, but I was moving from the big city up to northern Indiana and looking for a career change. I've always been in sales, from financial sales to recruiting and then to IT recruiting. And her software company was looking for a sales rep. And so it just happened to be perfect for me. And it was at this time when Facebook and all these social media platforms were really shifting from a personal to really much more of a business level. So again, I always say that timing leads to a lot of things. You know, is it luck? Is it persistence? A lot of it is both of it, along with you have that unique time and take grasp of it. But, within that, when I was doing sales for the software company, I just jumped in every chiropractic Facebook group that I could and really just, started learning as much as I could about the industry and trying to get my name out there. And in that, started seeing a ton of opportunity for chiropractors with social media. And I started Chiro Social Tech about a year later as a free resource in order to collect leads for Vitalogics. That was kind of my give back. Let me just, ooze value to the industry, which is kind of what I do and kind of stand by on a marketing standpoint. And then I'll be able to position myself. People will know, and they do, they connect, my name to Vitalogics many, many times. And that worked great. But people were like, okay, this is great. How do I hire you to do my social media, right? And it's all just really been an organic, beautiful process over the last few years. But my heart's been with chiropractic my whole life, and it's really, really fun to now put kind of my career passion into that as well.
Beautiful. I mean, so would you say that now, like the majority of the people that you work with, are they chiropractors?
Yes, I would work with 99.9% of chiropractors, or I started to work a lot with associations and groups. So specifically been working with the Professional Baseball Chiropractic Society, a lot of different sports groups. The Women Chiropractors has become this giant organization. We just did their convention last week, but all within the chiropractic industry though.
Very cool. And so one of the things we'd love to discuss too, and chiropractors, we're all about memes and quotes and all that stuff. So words of positivity or affirmations. Do you have anything that you would like to drop on doctors, some words of meaning?
Yeah, so, I think a big thing to remember, and I'm going to relay this specifically to social media, because you really have to put yourself out there, whether it's putting your image out there or like we do, putting your voice out there, putting yourself on camera. It's really taking yourself out of it. And everything that I try to do, I try to remember, this isn't about me. This is about what's important or what I'm trying to do or the message that we're trying to push forward. And so especially this weekend, I think, again, mentioning I was just at that Women Chiropractors conference, that was a big thing that, we tried to reiterate in the message we were sharing is, when you're sharing on your Instagram stories, it might feel weird to you, but it's not about you. It's about your audience being able to learn more, trust you more. It's going to, position yourself more in that. And so I think that's kind of I don't know if that's an actual quote or who said it, but that's like a saying I live by.
Beautiful. I mean, so when you were like, how long have you actually been then like really helping and supporting chiropractors? How many years has it been now that you've been doing this?
So 2014 is when I started with Vitalogics,
Right.
and then it was 2015 that Chiro Social Tech started. So we are, I think it was like November 18th, the date that my website was live. That's what I call my birthday.
Yeah.
But I woke up and I was like, my website, it's public. People can go to it.
Do you feel like, I mean, a lot of chiropractors either they don't understand social media or they undervalue the power of social media?
I think both. I think more chiropractors understand social media than even give themselves credit for. And I think for whatever reason, the things that they even know they should do just don't do for some reason. And where I think we fall short a lot of times is because we're really in a society of instant gratification. And I always say this in my talk. So, if you think about when you're online and, you're on your Facebook feed, how many things do you read, maybe even click on or watch that you don't like or comment? People are stalkers and lurkers and information grabbers first. So, like a doctor will write this great article or do this great video and say, nobody liked it, it didn't work, and stop. And, they say so many businesses fail right at that very, very end because they just didn't take it that far. And so it's just about continuing to go and push your message. And I think too many times we give up and not seeing some of that, instant gratification.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's like I often tell people that I work with, it's not about how many people are watching, commenting, liking, or it's like who is watching.
Right.
So it's like that, if it's that one person that you actually really impact or have, out of the 300 people who watched your video or Facebook Live, then that made a difference. And then, yeah, I love that where you're saying, I'm just pulling from this. I think you're saying consistency. It's just don't give up, don't stop.
Right.
And then you start to see it starts to bear fruit over time. And you and I had this discussion even before we got on the recording today, I think, which is that, even things like social media, like I could say like with Facebook advertising, like you got to put more time into it and allow it to grow. Like even if you're putting money behind something for 4 weeks, isn't that true?
Oh, absolutely. So this is a big thing I've been showing. I did recently in a case study, Nike went viral.
Yeah.
So we were looking at Nike's Facebook page, and they post about once a month to their Facebook page, just,
Wow.
Their highest quality content. But now you can go in and you can look at any page's Facebook ads. So if you didn't know this is really, really cool. If you go to their page, there's like a little circle under the header image, and they're running a ton of ads. So they've only posted, once in the last month. So then this weekend, I spoke specifically on your hidden Mickey social media strategy. So it was in Orlando. So we looked at Disney's Facebook page. They post about 4 to 5 times a month. So, and then again, you go look at their ads, and their ads are just, very targeted, very direct. There's quite a few of them going, quite a few variations. Remembering their audience is going to be a much larger. So this is scaling back to your local community. But also, I started seeing ads for Nike and for Disney, in my news feed right after I did this. So I think really understanding the ad platform from an audience level, from a retargeting level, and then understanding, like the Facebook ad platform even breaks it down for you. There's branding, and then there's your middle, which is your, objective, and then there's your conversion. So running ads a month for branding, a month for give value, collect their email, have them watch a video, have them click to your website, and then do a month for conversion, and then really look at, what the process gives you.
It's interesting, because like I will do that intentionally. Like if I see something in my feed and I'm like, well, that's interesting. I'll literally click on, like if it's a sponsored ad, I'll click on it because I know that it'll show up again later. It's almost like I know, like when you want to save a video, you can save a video on Facebook. It's actually easier to just click on that and know that it's going to come back on your feed later on.
It really is. So here's just a couple quick examples. I follow Four Sigmatic. They did a free samples ad. It was on a podcast. I heard about them on a podcast, and they did a free samples ad. And I get ads for them all the time. And if I didn't, I would have forgot the name of them. And I wanted to gift them recently. And they were right in my Facebook. I was like, oh yeah, I want to be gifts for somebody. But there was a year's time that lapsed in between both of those purchases. But I am going to be an ongoing customer for them, and they've done it well. Another example of that is the Health Nut News. I followed her for about 18 months before I purchased something, and now I'm a monthly subscriber. So you can get, it's not to say that you can't get new patients and you can't get new business and you can't get results immediately from some of these social media avenues, but I like to really have doctors consider the long-term strategies coupled with that, because I think it's so much more fruitful for your clinic as a whole.
Absolutely. And I mean, so I've been in, the social media marketing business for a long time. And I mean, for my business essentially, but also, helping others too. But,
hence the plaque in the background.
Well, yeah, I mean, for different reasons. But the conversation shifts once you've been in this game long enough from how does it work and can I get results to how do I shorten the sales cycle? You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's where most doctors don't even get to that step where it's like, okay, now I'm getting results. So instead of having someone follow me for 18 months before they buy, how do I get it to 6 months? How do I get it to 3 months? That's when the conversation shifts. So I really love this conversation. It's very unique because I think a lot of doctors discount, again, the real power of social media, and then they give up too soon because they never give it enough time. They never nurture their audience long enough, and then they don't see the fruit at the end and then get the chance to make it better afterwards. So it's interesting.
Well, and I asked this question too of the audience. I think I see this a lot as well. And I said, what if Walt Disney's social media strategy was they just shared images and quotes and pictures from Universal Studios? Like that was their strategy. Like, get it? It's an amusement park. It's the same. This is, it's not the same. It doesn't make sense. And so I think many times what I see in so many of my clients is not enough real engagement, not enough of their own authentic office speaking to their specific niche audience and their region. I get this, I do get all the time where, can you just do my social media for me? And, they're going to be in, some other state, somewhere else. And I'm like, not really. I don't know your people. I don't know your players. Like I can guide you how to do it. And not saying that you can't, because there's ways to run ad strategies, but we really try to structure the campaign so you can just plug and play your specific content, images, video, so your language can speak specifically. If you're in the South, you should be using y'all. If you're in Indiana, that would look kind of silly, right? Yeah. So it's matching those things so your market really understands that you're speaking to them.
That's interesting. I never really thought of it that way. But would you say that so is it like, because a lot of people that I meet that want to start, really leveraging social media marketing, specifically like with video, like, are you seeing, is there a difference between the engagement and the amount of attention that someone will get if they're just, literally holding their phone in front of them and speaking, very native, I guess you would call it, to Facebook, versus doing something like we've done some really high level produced videos. And I know that we've been getting different results, but I'd love to hear your opinion on that.
Yeah. And again, I think it goes back to who it is that's doing it and how they're doing it. I've seen mixed results across the board from my clinics that I work with to the associations that I work with. And so I think there's a level where you can get too produced and to like people just know what you're going to say and what you're going to do, right? It still has to be something. As far as social media, they want something relevant, something, immediate news, off the cuff, entertainment. Social media is where we're going to, disappear a little bit or whatever from our world and engage with our friends and family. So if we try to get too businessy, too scripty, too commercially, we're just going to get scrolled and looked right past. So that's why you're going to see some of the better videos when it's more selfie-like. But I do think as well, here's where we also get lost is followers, like building a following and building a strong following versus building an influence and building a strong influence. And I see this more in the group and the association level. They think, my video has 700 to 1,000 views. I have so many people that are watching it. Well, are they watching it to see just what you're going to say next and what you're going to do next because it's so sort of ridiculous? And so it's just a following? Or do you have an actual influence over those 700 to 1,000 people? And that's where some of these videos out here that have a consistent, 200 to 500 views on their video, they're people that are looking for them. They're getting an influence. People are talking about it. And so it's hands down quantity over quality in the videos that you put out.
Yeah, I would agree with that, is that there's some people out there that have they have the ability to mobilize people. It has nothing to do with how many people actually click and watch, but it's the ability to actually be able to be on a video or to get people to take action to do something. And that's really what's important. So if a doc is listening right now and they're like, okay, I got to harness this stuff. I got to learn more about social media and the power of social media. I mean, how can they actually find you to get some more guidance?
Absolutely. So you can head on over to my website, chirosocialtech.com. Very simple. You can click on the vault. What we've done is we created a 5-month, we call it a boot camp course. It's online. It's weekly modules that are very, very short, very structured, that guide you and your team. So this is for the doctor, their associates, their marketing managers, their CAs, whoever your team is in your office. Put them all inside the boot camp because, we want everyone to be on the same page. But we really talk about the strategies, the campaigns, and the technicalities that you can use across all the platforms. We cover like every single one of them. And it's not to say, what we show you is how you can automate a lot of it. There's free tools out there like Zapier, Hootsuite, where we automate using RSS feeds, and we teach you how to set this up. So it really simplifies it, but we want to leverage your voice and leverage, if you're going to do a video, as many eyeballs in your specific local community. Like I also see a lot of doctors just kind of following other doctors and other clinics. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you get 200 other doctors that saw your local video. That's great. But let's really try to focus on how can we push that to your specific niche audience. And like I said, it's 5 months. We walk you through it structured, but it's self-paced as well. So you can eat up the content, as your team, sees fit. So if you're just not interested in Twitter, you just skip the Twitter modules.
And so you just open you open enrollment to that, to the boot camp twice a year.
We do twice a year. So it runs January to May, and we're going to open up early bird November 15th. So you get signed up, you can get in, you can start consuming old bootcamp modules. We have a ton of free content in there. The other thing we do is we just give you a lot of free images, stories, short videos. We teach you how to brand them. They're unbranded. Highly encourage you to put your logo on those and share those out. So many of my clients don't take that small step to put their logo on it. And, top of mind awareness and really branding your clinic and your doctor's name is one of the biggest things social media can give you. Because people will say like, that chiropractor, I saw that ad, right? And it's really if they can remember your name or something to search it and connect it. And that happens more times than not because we're just too busy. We're too distracted.
Yeah. All right, listeners, if you would like to connect with Nicole, you can actually open your show notes right now on your mobile. So go ahead and open the show notes. We'll have all the links and resources right there, and you can connect, even get on that waiting list right now. for the boot camp. The other thing that you can do is if you're listening actually on our desktop or on your desktop, you can head over to, again, the chiropracticphilanthropist.com on the desktop, and you can actually see that we have a webpage dedicated to our discussion with Nicole today. And we'll have all the links and resources. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, Nicole. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're going to put you in the TCB time machine. We're going to send you back to a younger version of yourself. Okay.
Okay.
So this is right after you just launched Chiro Social Tech website. So this is back 2015, I think you said.
Yes.
So 2015, we're going to send you back to that time. What would you say to that younger self? You have all the knowledge you have today.
That you can do, and I don't want to say this to say you can, I would say you can do it alone. So, and I know that sounds bizarre, but I kept thinking that I needed a partner to prove my value. So I kept looking for a chiropractor to partner with me, and it stalled me in many ways. Just choosing the wrong partners, things, happening. And when I stopped waiting on somebody else to make myself valuable and realized I had that within me, I was really able to grow. Now I have a team, so I don't want to say, that you can do it all alone, but just not wait for, someone else to take that jump and do something.
You're worthy.
Right.
You're worthy.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Okay. So I would love to know what type of resource that you would love to drop on, Doc. So this could be a podcast. It could be a book you're reading. It could be someone you're following. It could be a course you've taken, but it's like, look, every doc listening right now should go and check this out.
Oh, we could go. I'll go with, so I have a book that is kind of the base structure. I call it the foundation of the 5-month boot camp. So it's by Donald Miller, and he also has a podcast. I'm an avid listener of his podcast, but Creating a Story Brand by Donald Miller is a phenomenal book. And then also checking out his podcast. It just has some excellent information in there, but I would really recommend. I got it on Audible, and then I purchased the real book because you're going to want to take highlighters and take notes. So go ahead and get yourself the real copy of that one.
That's awesome. I have definitely not had that resource dropped yet in 300 episodes. So
you're going to love it. Get it.
I'm going to look that one up too. Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the Chiropractic Philanthropist today, and giving back to really the profession. You could say, you've been doing this a while, and I know that, I've met you before personally, by the way, and as listeners might not know, and I know that you have a lot of passion for helping chiropractors help more people. So I want to thank you for that.
No, thank you very much. This was an honor to be on here talking to the expert about social media. I think we were able to give the listeners some good value.
So you've heard the struggles, you've heard the successes, and this episode is done. But there's still so much more to come and so much more to learn. Head on over to the chiropracticphilanthropist.com and sign up for our newsletter, where you'll receive free practice building tips and strategies, including how to market your practice with your very own podcast and so much more. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Chiropractic Philanthropist.